Welcome back to the Flashing Badger podcast, episode 3 of our Roadshow edition, where we have gone on a trip. As a result, it's just me, Gordon, and
Mike,
and
Fitz,
with no wigs this week. But we are continuing our story in the game Cyberpunk CBR PNK by Emmanuel Mello and published by Mythopia Games. Thanks very much for coming back. Cue the music.
Flashing Badger, Flashing Badger, alright. Flashing Badger.
So before we start this week, I'd like to shout out a review we got for our Delta Green Part 1 episode, which is from Old Stinky One, which says, listened all the way through and it was an outstanding series. Fun roleplay and riffs. The Aussie versus US month, day, year password mix-up was great. Subbed and looking forward to checking out more stuff from you guys. Thanks, Old Stinky. We appreciate the shout out. And the rest of you not leaving us reviews, take a long, hard look at yourselves. Probably leave us a few more reviews so we have stuff to read out. But no, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. When you left us last time, our two runners had just had a crashing realization about the reality of where they were. Remind me who you're playing this week. Fitz playing Brodie.
I'm playing Brodie, a streetwise, probably over-aggressive cyberpunk. She's grown up in the favelas, the real slums of the area. And while she does, in all appearances, seem quite mean and intimidating, she has a bit of a heart of gold, and she's doing all this for her baby sister, Casey, who really is the only reason she pushes forward and does these terrible jobs. But her great feature that we've enjoyed so far is that she has almost what you call a mood ring of a mohawk, which, depending on her mood or how she's feeling, changes colour.
a mood hawk.
A mood hawk.
Mike.
I'm Spyda. Spyda has weaselly sharp features. He's really skinny. He's your cyberpunk tech expert. He's financially motivated. He will use people to get what he wants, and that's exactly what this mission is. It's ideally one last job to be able to get out of his terrible, dirty apartment and into the spotlight of an amazing place and people who knows who he is, and not having to work and showcasing his tech to the embarrassment of others. That's what Spyda's here for. And I have a broken nose.
You do now.
Yep. That was kind of my fault.
So after last episode, the pair discovered that rather than being on board an actual monorail train delivering it, they were trapped in a simulation and carrying a virus to the heart of the neural network at car 22 of the train. The network begged and pleaded with them to go back and instead exit the train through car 12, but they ignored its pleas. And the episode ended just as they reached the final compartment of the train and hit the big red button. When you hit the big red button, what do you think happens? Would you like me to tell you?
This has been stressing me out since the last episode. I think of it probably more than I should for a game, and it's actually been quite concerning.
I love the idea nothing happens and I have to do the tuk tuk, tuk tuk, tuk tuk, tuk tuk. But I also kind of picture it does it.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that out the windows in the distance, because the train's still moving past those same things, you see like the cityscape sort of like de-resing as it gets closer and closer. The things are kind of like dropping away, and eventually it's coming up the carriage until there's just this black void. And at the very moment the void hits where you're standing, it's like you're in this pure, bright, blinding white light and complete empty, silent void, which lasts for a handful of seconds. And then you realize that you're actually looking at the glow of fluorescent lights through your eyelids. And you slowly blink your eyes awake and find yourselves in a dingy, concrete-roofed, what feels like a sort of underground facility. There's water dripping down the walls, cables all over you. There's plugs into the back of your head that are hardwired in through your ports and everything. You have all the ECG monitors and all that on different screens around you, like a full operating setup. But everything is this thrown together makeshift salvage stuff. This isn't your sleek corpo environment. This is your dirty underground basement, ripper who's going to be doing surgeries on people and things. When you wake up, the two of you are in beds that are head to head. Is there anyone else with you?
There are. We're in a shape with our heads all pointed towards the center.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's say there's one more. We're making a Y shape.
Yep. And do you want to tell me who the third one is, or shall I? Because in my mind, the third one is the player character Wegs would have been if he'd managed to make it. But unfortunately, as I said in my previous episodes, he has grown up responsibilities, so wasn't able to come on our roadshow trip. So I think so someone give me a character that Wegs would come up with, and that's the third person.
Oh, give a cliche Weg style character.
Oh, Baron.
Yeah, aristocratic lifestyle.
Baron Archibald von
Klevenhofen.
Yeah.
Getting his family's inheritance, but they've put him out to work for a little bit to prove that he can work.
Total company man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is just confrontational with even the most basic of NPCs.
Yeah. If he regained consciousness, he would have immediately slapped the doctor. Sorry, Wegs, we love you. This is an expression of love. Right. So Archibald, and when you turn your head one way, you see Brodie lying there, who looks much as she did in the simulation. But when you roll the other way, you see Archibald von Klevenhofen, monocle still in eye, long mustache, pipe still
Old
lodged in the
German,
mouth.
black hat with a little pointy spike
Yes,
type thing on there.
the Kaiser helmet. Yeah,
The Kaiser helmet, that's it.
but you can see on all the displays there that unfortunately they're just all flatlining. It looks like Archibald didn't survive the jacking process, like got neural overloaded or something, and just cooked.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Hey, our 33% split just increased to 50-50.
Nice.
Real shame if something happened to you.
So, and I meant to ask you this before we finished last episode, but who do you think sent those black hounds that were on the train?
For me, it is the cybertech security system that provide the antivirus software that we're trying to get through. They've just reached out, hit the panic button for another legitimate anti-theft software provider, almost like digital mercenary style information to be plugged in to try and flush us out. It is something that not every system would have in place, but that you can inject as a, like my computer's been overrun by a virus, I take it to the tech guy and just go help. And he goes, I've got X software that I'm now going to plug in and try and combat it.
So that's like an external agency plugged into. Okay.
So, and in fact, I reckon this could be government related because they have their own systems, they have whatever, and they keep a lot of information secret from the government. But once this started, they went, we could use government buy-in to fix this. And by telling the government that if this information gets leaked, it's going to affect the community. So a strong arm.
Be the federal anti-cyber invasion agency or whatever it is.
Yes, absolutely. Because imagine if they said the information that is in here relates to your government officials and scandals and other things like that. If it gets leaked, this is the damage it will cause.
Or, I mean, if you want to go darker, exactly what you said, but instead of actually a program, they were other jacked-in special agents who we unfortunately killed, who are now...
So they were federally employed runners.
Who are somewhere there's a room in a cleaner, whiter building in a semicircle with all these dead bodies now being cleared out.
So they're performing their own clandestine infiltration, but for lawful government purposes against this megacorp.
And seeing as we may have all been on the same side, but we kind of jumped the gun and just...
Well, I still think we're taking ours probably unlawfully and for villainous purposes in terms of public release information
And that's
and
my
making
next
money.
question was going to be, do you think they were trying to herd you towards 22 where you went, or do you think they were trying to prevent you getting there?
That's
I
good.
love the idea that it is this mega corporation that would have government eyes on it and government employees of high ranking going, they're going to have sensitive information about me that I want to regain control of. And so the government as a whole has gone, let's get in, look at the information and see what they have and maybe shut it down. But whilst they're doing that, this planned operation of years of whatever, there's been a couple of dudes strapped in a basement somewhere with discarded materials of one smart individual who's plugged it all in. Deployed us at the same time. And we just so happen to be...
We're riding the back of it.
Gifted and streetwise, and we've not only hindered their operation, but we're likely still to release
and
the
take
information.
over.
And we're causing way more damage.
You were the fly in the ointment of the thing. And I do very much like the idea, Fitz, that they're there's this they were genuine like trained government operatives who are runners, and they've been employed. But of course, because they're not like you guys, they've got rules of engagement and they've got all this stuff. So they came in not sure who was alive and who was part of the simulation, and they had to behave. But you guys just
and we couldn't hear all their radio comms, and then back to HQ being like, "This is what we got. How do you want us to act?" But in the meantime,
and all,
two helmets coconutted together.
their handlers just see someone like twitching in the chair, and his vitals go flat.
They've been
like,
so briefed up on what they would encounter when they're in there, and they saw something completely different, and it was that pause of what do we dunk?
Yeah, they were expecting all these NPCs, and instead they get these unpredictable runners who are just in there banging heads together and shooting Tarzos.
All right. So I love that. I think it's great. And on that note, and I think it's very cyberpunk that you two idiots have just stopped. Well, it would have been three of you, but unfortunately, Archibald wasn't as.
It cuts back again.
Still dead. Check in on him. Very cyberpunk that you've stumbled into this and you've made a situation worse. It could easily have just been something that happened that was the constant government versus corpo power struggle going on day to day, but you two have made it a bloodbath.
Easter is just around the corner, and why not head on down to your favourite bakery in Central Plaza for some hot cross buns. Brimby's and Baker's Delicious don't make them quite like we do, and it's all thanks to our thorough quality control system.
Here's a tray of 36 I've just pulled from the oven.
36. Try 26 by the time I discard these substandard pieces of faff. I wouldn't feed this trash to a cyber mastiff, wasting ingredients and my time. 5 years in the ISO cubes.
No, please! I just got back from the cubes. Anything but the cubes!
Assault by manner of raising your voice. Penalty, death.
If you get your hands on a hot cross bun from us, you know that it's passed the test. We look forward to seeing you here at Central Plaza, Judge Bread.
Flashing badger.
So you wake up and all these wires. What are you doing there?
I'm rubbing the inside of my hand across my nostrils, and I'm trying to work out that the injury I sustained inside the simulation, how my nose is feeling here.
It's screwed. Like it's the classic biofeedback loop of, while it might not be technically broken, you've still got a big bruise forming on that section of your face, and it's still like you've been hit.
And I grab my nose, and you, with your background, tell me not to blow my nose, or I'm going to puff both of my eyes up as they both go swollen. And so instead, I just jam some tissue into my nostrils to try and stop the blood loss just out my nose, but my nose is all puffy. And so expect this impression for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, that'll be an absolute treat to listen to.
And I'm instantly reaching to the connector at the back of my head to try and just disconnect myself from the servo.
And how does it disconnect? What's the mechanism for it? Is it like a rotate or a click button or?
Picture a microphone cable jack.
One of those with that you have to hold the button down.
What are we looking at as we say it?
I love that. It's like the USB as well, where they'll never put it in the right way.
So 50-50 that you always get wrong.
I've got the wrong one. It's like,
Yeah, brilliant. So you wake up and you get yourself out of the chair, and I presume you're assisting Brodie with getting out. She's probably not quite as experienced at you as being fully.
Mine goes really quick, but I'm still disorientated. So I managed to do my own biomechanical movements, and I'm out, and then I'm recentering and stumbling over as I start to recenter my sixth sense of knowing where I am in space.
And I feel like I'm the same. It's almost like waking out of it, that hyper sleep sickness type grogginess where you're sort of taking stock and slowly getting to feet and pulling off the sensory cables and that. You might even give me an assist with getting up my head jack or whatever. And
you're like panic pulling them, and I'm like
fighting,
stop, because there's a method to what order they're meant to come off. And
you teach me how to pull these off properly, and then I teach you I wouldn't blow that nose, mate.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. As you come back to the musty smell and the snap from the reality you've been into to now is all this olfactory thing of you didn't even notice that you weren't tasting and smelling things there the same as you would here, and that it was a really clean environment, and now all that stuff comes rushing back in, and from what appears to be above you can hear the hustle and bustle of the city at night, and you can hear rain pounding on the roof above, as always. But you look at some of the small screens that are available near your room that seem to show the straight front, and you can see a couple of black armoured SUVs rolling up towards the end of it. It looks like the cameras look down either length of a long laneway, and you can see that there's a couple of SUVs pulling up down one end.
And are we in the centre? Like, are we a building of that laneway sort of thing, or
Yeah,
or we're
you're
underground?
From what you can see, it looks like there's a door off that laneway and a few stairs. Probably a full story down underground into where you are.
Yeah.
Probably it might be in the back of a shop or something. You're not sure. You can just see the doorway. The cameras don't show back on itself, but you're not sure how well hidden this place is now. It's still fuzzy to you.
Are we? I don't want to change the tone of the podcast, but are we naked or are we?
No, you're still
in our gear. We've got all our gear.
Geared pretty much the way you were in there. That's your persistent mental image of how you are carried into the simulation.
Yeah, perfect. Sort of look at that. Sort of look at Spyda and go, Federales, let's get out of here. That's what they're called in the future.
What's your relationship with law enforcement?
Well, not great. I have had my run-ins. Well, I know I have had my run-ins with the law. I'm very aware that running is illegal.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm pretty much always of the opinion that the less you have to do with the law in these circumstances, the better. And I'm pretty much, we need to get out of here.
I'm already wanted. And I know that if they physically grab me and do my DNA test, they'll ID me. Even my fake prints and everything that I wear now won't last me long. That helps me out in the real world, get past minor stuff, but it won't get me through being arrested. They'll know that I'm wanted. Dead or alive.
Bon Jovi walks in.
I'm leaving that in the edit.
Voice of an angel.
Where are you going to go? How are you going to get out?
So we're taking stock of this room. Now, there's no one else in this room.
There's a corpse in this room with you.
Sorry, there's a corpse in this room. First thing I do very, very quickly is check the credits on my watch. Have we been paid for this job?
Sure. And you can see in your offshore Cayman Islands account that the balance has increased
Yes!
by 5 million creds.
Perfect.
Mine's increased by 10 million and yours is increased by 5 million. Are you like, did you get your 5 million? I go, yeah. And rotate my display away from you.
I see the reflection in your cyber eye and I'm like, you're dead!
So you scan around the room and there are a few, there's the chairs you're in obviously, and there's the big thick cables, the ones as thick as your arm that run up to the monitoring console nearby, which is unoccupied. And in fact, the chair there is like tipped over.
Right.
Where it looks like someone's beat a hasty exit. There's a few of those little puddles in the corner of the room, and there is this flight of concrete, bare, unvarnished concrete stairs that go straight up to a hatch through the roof, like a trapdoor hatch. And there is another door as well that's like almost like a bulkhead door with a wheel on it, like a ship door.
Yeah, right. Are we able to tell, based on the camera screens in front of us, which door leads, like which door this camera is obviously?
Well, I think the one that shows above ground is probably above ground.
Right, got you.
That was me being sarcastic at you, Fitz. I'm sorry.
No. I'm trying to gather.
Yeah, one goes up to the ground level, and the other one seems to continue on your current level. Yeah.
I grab Baron's forearm and I'm removing his data slate cyber deck, whatever, because for me, that is a way they're going to link us all back together. Because if I know him and he's sitting next to me, that we will probably have some sort of message history or whatever that will lead them to us as persons of interest.
Yeah.
As I'm grabbing that, I'm yelling at you, jam the hatch so we can get out through the other door.
And jam the trapdoor up above.
Yeah, it may buy us some time.
Yeah. And that's something I'm able to do. I scout around, find, all the bits of discarded tech and everything like that. There is, whether it be a metal broom handle or something like that, enough to jam it in there. Give it by us at least a few more seconds.
Some rebar.
I'm happy with that.
And whilst I see that he's doing
it's a
that,
cyber spine.
Yeah.
You tired it or not?
and in that vein as well, whilst doing that, I come across some basic cleaning products, all of which happen to be flammable.
Oh, okay.
And I start spreading them around the room. He knows what I'm doing. And I'm not lighting anything yet, but I'm spreading them around.
I know the smell of bleach.
Know the smell of bleach?
I don't think you can smell anything at the moment.
No.
Oh, it's so true.
But he sees what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm covering the computer console that's there, the monitoring console, and I'm covering poor Baron von Klevenhofen as well.
So as you're doing this, you see on the screens now, you can see troops deploying out the back of those SUVs up above.
Yeah.
And they're into the street, and you can see they're kind of moving. They're not like all converging on your door, but you can see they're moving up this alleyway.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're not sure that they know exactly where you are, but there's.
I think they've clearly traced us to this general IP address.
I'm running to the door with the wheel. I'm so weak and I'm rattled because of my nose and everything else. I'm taking hold of it and I'm going through the motions, but even I don't expect I'll be able to turn it, but I'm pretending to put the effort in.
Yeah.
All right.
If I worked on my own, nothing will get done.
Make me a luck roll, and we'll see how that goes. So just going to roll me a single d6, and we're just going to see what you get.
It's a 3.
It's a 3. No, you don't. You can't shift the wheel. So,
but I see that he's struggling with this, and with that, I come running over, go again, giving the old, we've got to get out of here, and I put my back and effort into it as well.
Sure. So that's cost you a precious couple of seconds, and now from above, you can now hear the clomping of boots that's clearly into wherever you went. So you wind open this hatch door, and it makes like an extraordinary cry as it opens. It's this big rusted screech, and you see that there's a very small like platform in front of you that's probably 6 feet deep with a safety railing on it, and there's steps that go 3 steps down to there, and then you're into the circular body of a sewer tunnel there. You know, not even ankle, like shoe level deep sewer water, and the big circular sewage tunnel. It's like one of those you see in the movies where they drive like an armored car through. It's like massive, but it's, you know.
At least it's just water, as you
Well,
described.
of course, yeah. In sewers, we always find just clean water.
I reckon at this point we have a bit of a flashback. And I don't know if you'll recall in the last episode, but we discussed how we both got this job and how we both started in this job. And we both recalled that you were manipulated out into an alleyway to buy some stims.
I was selling the stims.
You were selling some stims, sorry, and someone handed you something and you got an electric shock.
Yep.
Whereas I was organising through my broker to get some good gear and equipment, and as I went out to buy it, he handed me something and I got an electric shock. Keep the face of that broker in mind, and we'll flash back to a little bit earlier. Not only is he my broker, but he's actually my long-term childhood friend. He deals all the good and thingy gear like that. So when I took this job...
What's his name?
His name is actually D-Frag, everyone calls him.
That's a great name.
That's
Right.
sweet.
I was really, there's usually the patented Fitz pause, and then he says, I got no idea, and one of us comes up with it. So I'm incredibly impressed, and I'd like to shout that out. D-Frag is a fantastic name.
So D-Frag and I you almost get the impression from this flashback that we may have even been a bit more. You never know. But we are at the very least very, very good friends. And this flashback occurs before we took the job. And I'm talking to D-Frag in a quiet bar in a darkened spot, and he's telling me, the people that want you to do this job, I've looked into them like you asked, and one guy in particular, the one who's approached me, I followed him back to his place. He seems to live down on Lexington in the Bulwark district. I don't know what that is. And he has a place, a shop, which seems to be a bit of a front, but he's got some big tech or something like that, obviously underneath. A lot of cables, a lot of power running into that. He seems a bit sus. I'm not sure on him. This is the flashback we're getting. And D-Frag's a good mate. And he said he's given me this to give you, knowing that he's basically explained that this will knock you out and then all I have to do is leave and someone will come and grab you. I tell him to keep that charade up, but I want him to look into this area more. And I've organised for him to have sitting there and waiting for us outside this bloke's underground powered, whatever it is, a couple of, I'm trying to think what it should be now.
I was waiting for you to be like Tron cycles. I'm like don't do it.
A couple of sewer hover bikes. Basically, the sewers in this city, they're ancient and old. They're almost Ninja Turtle-esque in that you can fit a body through them and all that, but you can also have what the sewer workers and what underground racers have used frequently, which are these hover bikes, which are these three-pronged bikes that use the walls of the area to hover through at a speed. And he's got 3, R.I.P. Baron von Kleefhoffen. He's got 3 sitting there waiting for us in the giant sewer area, which has got the hatch closest to where we came in.
So you're jumping on these bikes. Where's your
That's my
destination?
As
Great flashback, and it's going to be
Two stress?
It's going to be two stress. Yeah. It's going to be two stress because it's elaborate. There's a lot of planning and preparation that's gone into it.
I cut some cables on the third bike before I hop onto mine.
Sorry, and can I just, before I slammed that door shut for the bikes, because we're going to do the old slam shut and spin it, I pull up the old, I don't know if you recall from last episode, my little Tarzo electric things, and I shoot it towards the main console, knowing it will cause an electrical spark.
Great.
And set fire to all the bleach and chemicals
put around.
that I put around. Now, I know I won't destroy it completely, but it may buy us time.
Great.
Slam the door and spin the lock.
I love
Fantastic. Absolutely. So you jump on the bikes. Where are you?
Oh,
heading?
you disabling?
Oh, yeah. You said.
it. I disabled the third bike.
So are you heading together? Are you separate? Is this the end of your like, are you separating in separate directions, or do you go somewhere to a sort of cool down point where you separate off from there?
I think we'll head off together. At this point, we're still a team. Whilst the main point of the mission's over, we're sort of not out of it yet. And I think we both sort of understand that still together, we are stronger at the moment. And we head off basically the first tunnel, most obviously facing away from where we are, and zoom straight down there.
Down here, a lot of the maps and systems and things don't work. So this bike up top would have GPS, navigational, everything going on. Down here it doesn't, but we planned for that. And there's these hand-drawn maps that have a little pocket light on top facing down, illuminating the map. And I can see this crude scale of where to go. And so I'm straight ahead and taking the lefts and the rights and following the map as I go.
Excellent. And where does it take you?
It takes us for probably 2 or 3 minutes at high speed and zoom, zoom, zoom. And at some points it opens up and drops low. And then all of a sudden we spit out into the outer limits of this area of the city. And you can see the giant cityscape in the background. But this is your concrete aqueduct, really wide.
Quack.
Quack. Think the car racing scene in Greece. The overgrown weeds. There's the factory complexes either side.
Some big ladies standing there.
Some chain link fences and cyclone fences either side. And we spit out with an almighty dust eruption as we eject out of the sewer into this aqueduct style area.
Sure. And looking back over your shoulder, you can see now the government, like black ship helicopters hovering in over where you are. You can see searchlights beaming down, troops rappelling onto roofs in that neighborhood where you were. But as far as you can see, there's no attention being directed this way at all.
Yeah, right.
Where do you go from here? I know you're out into the aqueduct. Where's your skip forward for me to the debrief point? Where's that?
Yeah, and we come up out of the aqueduct, burst through a tiny little rickety fence that takes us onto a dirt path. We spit out around into an industrial complex paved area, and there's all these rundown factories. We time it beautifully that one of the wooden planks off a sign falls as we enter the street, and you hear a distant dog barking, and we dim the engines of our bikes and we slide around to the back. And as we pull into this factory complex, a roller door goes up, and as it goes up, and we roll our bikes into a factory floor area that is industrial but fairly void in the center as we just roll into this huge hangar-sized facility of dust and grime and bring our bikes to a stop in the center.
Is anyone waiting there for you?
Yeah, so this was when we thought that the run actually utilised the monorail system. This was going to be the rendezvous point, the post successful run rendezvous point, where we were to meet our engager, our man, confirm payments, anything, give him sort of a debrief, a rundown, acknowledge that we've done a good job and everything like that. And so as we zoom in, sitting there is the guy that engaged us both, I believe.
He has to be wearing a suit.
Yeah. I feel like he looks like a cross between us, like a sleazy used car salesman and your typical kind of futuristic gangster type. Yeah, mafioso gangster type.
Yeah.
Standing behind him a couple of meters is a woman with blonde hair, and she's the woman from the
the train.
reflection.
Yeah. Great. I love that. It's fantastic. The guy also, though, something when you look at him, something about him doesn't ring true. Like it's the crime TV show's version of what a gangster would look like. You're not like something about your streetwise sense is triggering on this that he's actually a criminal, whether it's he kind of feels you a bit like an undercover cop or like something's not right, but you don't know. But anyway,
He's a
Especially because our payment has come through and they've organised this method for us.
Is it our
to
payment or is it
disengage.
you get half now, half later?
that's your payment.
So
that
we've
full
already
payment?
got that, and there's a way for them not to be face to face with us, but for some reason
They wanted to meet.
they wanted to RV.
And I think our streetwise sensors both know that that's weird. But fearful that we wouldn't get full payment, I guess we organised it.
He throws you the new identities you were promised, the clean slate ID documents. And he's like, time to go. We'll deal with this. Leave. And doesn't talk to you much more than that. Now, the way you resolve a game of Cyberpunk is what's called an angle roll. So the angle roll is you chose your initial goal for being on this run. And yours, Mike, was to get rich. And Fitz Brodie's was to look after her family. So you're now going to tell me which of these four approaches here, aggression, smart, empathetic, or stealthy, which of those approaches you're going to use to pull off your angle and manipulate the positive result you've got from this to make your dream come true, make your life be better. So that could be as simple as I'm going to spend my 5 million credits to buy a house in Rio, or it could be something complex. And then we're going to roll dice and see what we get. So tell me we'll start with Mike. Tell me what approach you're going to use to pull off your angle.
I'm saying goodbye to everyone in this room, and the approach that I'm using is as I walk out to my hover bike and I wheel it back out behind the factory and it's still running, I hop on and I bring my cyber deck in front of me, and I have with me the second cyber deck of Baron. And using the two, I am now I plug in and I'm performing a leech hack to take his 5 million credits as well, to give myself 10 million credits. And I pause for a bit as the funds are moving across, and I take a deep breath and I go, and I press another button and it starts remote accessing Brodie's and gives me the option yes or no.
So how about roll me, depending on your approach now, which I presume using smart, is it?
Correct.
So roll 2 dice. You're going to lose a dice if your approach is glitched, but it isn't if you have debts, if you failed to comply with any mission requirements, and you get positives if you've got any bonuses, any extra creds on the mission, which I'm going to say you pretty much broke even on. So just roll the 2 dice for me and let me know what the outcome is.
I have a 5 and a 6.
So you're single 6. So the result here is 6 is you get out of it mostly intact, but why doesn't it feel like a win? Now, you can step up your result to a critical success, which is you succeed remarkably, but that needs to come at a huge cost. Something or someone you love, your ideals, yourself. Choose for me if you like the enhanced result or the result you rolled.
I mean, instinct says give me the enhanced result, but I haven't throughout these episodes introduced something that's important to me other than wealth. And I can't sacrifice wealth to gain wealth here.
Sure.
If we had a relationship, I would be absolutely tanking our relationship to get it. So I'm going to leave you with the success rather than a critical
You've
success.
proven yourself to be a man of no ideals whatsoever.
Yep.
So I think that's fair. So you got out of this mostly intact, but why doesn't it feel like a win? And you...
Because there is some element of human still left in me. We have worked a couple of missions together. I know, even through my bionic scanning and everything, that everything important to Brodie is her sister Casey and her health struggles and the retirement plan for the father.
Retirement?
So that, because he doesn't work at the moment, but it's still to provide care for him as well. And it doesn't feel good because I know I'm about to take those funds.
Okay. So that's how it shakes out? Is it you hack in and take...
am walking away with 15 million credits.
Well, I tell you what, I'll say, until I see Brodie's roll, I'll say to you, you're walking away with the 10, and we'll come back to see how that looks. Hi, kids. Blaze Tamashi here, 11-time global champion hoverboard racer. Lots of people ask me for the secret to my success, and I always say the same thing. Who are you and why are you wasting my time? But seriously, if you guys want to grow up big and strong like me, make sure you ask your parents for Steri Boost. Don't grow at a normal rate like a disgusting weakling. Grow at an enhanced rate like a champion. The best athletes in the world all use Steri Boost. It's proven to have no side effects, and anyone who says it does is a filthy liar. When I was still racing, before my ban from the sport, many of my competitors commented on my even temper, blemish-free appearance, and incredible form, except for Kate Armitage, but thankfully he died in a completely accidental house fire like a little bitch. Steri Boost. Grow into your potential faster than expected.
Flashing badger.
Brodie, this money's hit your account. You've been thrown your new credentials. How does your exit look? And then tell me which approach you're using and roll your angle roll for me when you're ready. So which approach you can be using there?
Do you mean the approaching what I would do if I had my funds? Or
Yes,
what,
so
you've
this
still
is
got
the
your
moment-
funds.
Before this has happened, the funds have hit both of your accounts. You are walking away. You're declaring what approach you're going to use to pull off your angle, which is, your objective. What are you trying to do to get out of here?
And so originally, on the back of getting these funds, I'm going to use my aggression again, and we're going to go back to the bar that I usually work at as security in the door, as a door bitch. And the relationship over a little while that I formed with a less than ethical doctor that frequented the bar, and like some of the young girls and boys that would frequent it themselves. He would use a lot of the, he would go there and cheat on his wife and, have numerous affairs utilising our bar as a base. And I've turned my aggression from that, knowing that he's a doctor at a big private hospital in the area, to form a bit of a relationship, get some information on him, and I'm essentially blackmailing him into treating KC. So, as we all know, the rich are only the ones really allowed to use the hospital and its resources, but I've gotten enough of a relationship with this doctor that I'm blackmailing him to a degree to give Casey treatment. I'm intimidating him, using my strength and knowledge and information on him he's been attending our house and giving Casey treatment. But even he said, and I understand this, that he can't get all the equipment and the drugs out of the hospital without greasing the wheels himself or getting some money, which is what the money was for.
So now with your new resources, you're using your blackmail knowledge of him, you're using the money you've got, and you're using the fact that you can physically stand over him to convince him to step the level of treatment up. And look at the way I view it is that you're looking at a cure now for her,
Absolutely.
not just a stopgap.
This cure is essentially available, but it's only available to the rich and famous. And without paying through the nose for it, Casey would never be offered it. But I've intimidated this doctor. I've blackmailed him enough that even with this extra money that I can give him, he's going to be able to cure Casey of her illness.
Right. So give me those 2 dice for your angle roll and let's see what we come up with.
Top 1 4.
So the top 1 4, the result is you did it, but you know it won't last. How do you prepare for that? So tell me the story of how this looks. You don't just need to answer that question. Tell me the story of how this looks. So you away into your bike, you go back, you stand over this doctor.
So I'm gonna take the still best possible outcome for me, which is I take it away, organise this doctor. He attends our apartment, and with all the stuff that I've bought and purchased and he needs, and he actually does cure Casey. But on his way back to the hospital, when he gets back to his office, he's met by security there who've been keeping an eye on him and who have found out that not only has he been treating people off-site, but he's been stealing hospital equipment and drugs and goods to do it. And because he is a man of weak will, he instantly crumbles and he confesses everything about what he's done, who he's done it with, and whatever. And shortly thereafter, security and federales come knocking at the door and they arrest me for bribery, intimidation, extortion, and all those relevant offences that come with. So whilst Casey is cured, and I have succeeded in that part, I am looking at some time in jail.
And I feel like Brodie virtually knew that was going to happen. She knew it was a pretty likely outcome. I don't think she had any rose
It's a
tinted goggles.
sacrifice she was willing to make.
There's no happy endings in the sprawl.
No.
Okay. But Casey, she's well.
But she is cured, and as I'm getting, well, in my storyline prior to, as I'm getting locked up, I would take a wry smile as they push my head into the paddy wagon or into the into the vehicle that
Into the grav wagon.
the grav wagon that Casey's all right, and who knows, in a few years I might get out anyway, and she'll be there waiting for me.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
That's really lovely. Spyda.
And then you piece of shit.
Spyda, so tell me, as your finger hovers over that button to transfer the funds away from Brodie's account, is he doing it, or is there enough humanity left in him that he's not?
This is the beautiful moment. He's got the 10 million with his and the Baron's, and he clicks no and leaves the funds for Casey's treatment, knowing that I've doubled what I intended to make from this.
I like that.
I like that too. Thank you.
I would
'Cause
like
I was
to
going to
say,
come kill you.
why doesn't it feel like a win your one? I think is that he's shallow and terrible enough, knowing that that extra 5 million, my life could have been this much better. He can never be happy, even with his escape.
Yeah, and I just constantly want more. And the new apartment that I have brings a lot of attention to it as well. And so whilst I wanted positive attention, now I'm starting to have street level gangs and other standover people all over me. And you're in prison. I have no one to protect me. And all these people that I've manipulated and used to get where I am know exactly where I am now, where I live, and they know how fragile I am.
You're not rich enough to be protected by the corpos, and you're too poor to be in the slums. You're in that grey area of death.
So this won't last.
No. One last run.
Wonderful. I love it. That's great. I think that's concluded the stories of these two, and I think that's a suitably cyberpunk ending for how it's gone. What about you guys? Are you happy?
I am. I was so worried that you were going to take all my money and I was going to have to come kill you. Like, genuinely kill you.
I was also worried that I'd try and take the 15 and you'd be like, now what have I got? Oh, aggressive is my stat. I'm going to beat the 15 out of you and I'll be left with 0.
Yeah, I was actually waiting for that. But the beauty of the system was that Brodie didn't know. There was enough humanity in Brodie to trust you far enough that, he won't.
What an awesome game.
I thought it was really great.
I like that we basically dictated all of that.
Yeah,
Great.
what a cool system.
Yeah,
that I find
like,
that everything else that we play, and there's positives to all of those as well, but they can often be a slower pace of me spending 20 minutes trying to get through something basic.
Yeah.
But this, and I think they even promoted, is that give like a page or two of what would happen in a comic book, pitch all of that and resolve it. And it just allows that if we do 3 episodes of 1 hour each, I felt like we just told a huge story.
Absolutely.
Compared to we managed to get up a train cart and interact with a handful of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I want to point out we don't get free review copies of games. We don't get sponsorships or anything. We literally find games that we think would appeal to us and we search them online. And usually I send the guys a list and say, here's a couple I'm thinking of. What do you feel like? And when we say we really enjoyed the game, it's not because we're getting any kickback from it. It's because we really enjoyed the game. And this system is really tidy and really tight. And I'm keen to play a few more in the dark games. And thanks to Emmanuel Mello for developing it, because it's great fun. And it's a really tidy, easy to learn, easy to run little system. I will encourage everyone to jump on Drive Through RPG, and it's very reasonably priced. I don't know what the price is in your local currency, but it's far too reasonably priced for the amount of game you get out of it. So definitely jump on there and have a look. I'm going to go first because it's my privilege as the GM.
Can I just say one thing?
No.
Okay.
My favourite moment of the episode was the fact that we managed to create and kill a character for Wegs.
Yes.
Without him even being here, and this passive-aggressive attack we've had on Wegs' method of play. Wegs was my favourite moment. It made me laugh a great deal. Archibald von Klevenhofen will forever live in your pantheon of characters, even though you've never heard of him. And I also apologise. We love you, Wegs. Fitz, you go next. Tell me about your favourite moment.
No, and look, there's lots of favourite moments. I did forget to add, most importantly, there at the end, that when you got this montage of the doctor coming in and curing KC, but then the cops coming and putting the irons on and throwing me in the grav wagon, that despite all of that, my mohawk was glowing pink.
Oh, that is a
And
moment.
it was the pink of sisterly love.
That's perfect. That's very lovely.
But no, I do like all of that. There's so much you could do with all of that. Your imagination is pretty much the limit there. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that game.
Yeah, and I'd love to look. It's a great. The system is always designed for one last run. So I'd love we could run another. If you're happy, obviously jump in the Discord, tell us there. But if you want to hear more, we'd love to do another game in this world. So jump in and let us know. So I will go through the concluding stuff and let you know. We have just played, as I said, I've called him out a lot of times because we've really enjoyed ourselves. Manuel Mello and Mythopia Games. The game is Cyberpunk. There's a lot of Cyberpunk games, but this one is CBR plus PNK. It is available on DriveThruRPG or Cabinet of Curiosities Games, apparently. Jump on DriveThruRPG. If you buy through the affiliate link down below, that helps us. It costs you no more, but gets us some... it helps us, most importantly, gather stats on who's watching and who actually enjoys the games enough to buy and things. So it's great information for us. In-universe reviews are another way to communicate with us. So if you jump on there and leave us a review, you can just say you like the episode if you did, or you didn't if you didn't, but we love it most when you write from the perspective of someone. If you are a doctor who has been stood over after being a bar regular by the bouncer there, write us a negative review and tell us why that sucks. If you are KC and you have just been cured of your life-altering illness, tell us why it's awesome.
If you're a Ninja Turtle living in the sewer and you just had 2 bikes blow
That's
through
right.
and knock over your pizzas.
If you're a neural network based in a cyber headquarters and you've just been taken offline by 2 idiots with a viral bomb, tell us about that.
If you're Baron von Kleehofen's family waiting for him to come home.
Refreshing the
that's terrible.
funds as well.
Yeah. Missing persons notice for Baron von Kleevenhofen. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. We would love to see you on the Discord, which Mike will talk about in a sec, but please tell your friends about us.
I always talk about the Discord and the Patreon. I've done that the last couple of weeks. Instead, I want to mix it up this week and thank both of you, because we are sitting here on the beautiful east coast of Australia overlooking the lovely beach. And so we're at our comfy little coffee table, and it's unreal that we get to do this and have some time away and celebrate what we do, and just dolphins jumping in the background. Gorgeous. So for anyone considering a place to holiday and bring your family, why look no further than the Sunshine Coast.
This message brought to you by the Queensland Board of Tourism. What a pitch. You can come to Queensland and sit inside and play RPGs. But we've had an absolute ball.
I promise we've gone outside as well.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for being with us. As Mike was too modest to say, we have a very active Discord which talks a lot about not only the painting channel, which is obviously available on YouTube, Flashing Badger Painting, but also what we are going to do in the future, the next RPG we want to play. I would love to hear from you. Tell me, hey, idiot, you ran that game wrong, or this is my favorite game and do it this way. Especially people being passionate about stuff gets us passionate. We're not like massively into, we haven't played many like fantasy games, but if you say to me, this is the best game in that world, do it, we will give it a red hot go and have our best time.
It's such a sweet spot for the podcast at the moment because, as you mentioned, there's not sponsorship on the outside dictating what we do. So if there is something you are passionate about, there's a good chance we're going to love it as well. So tell us about it because we want to play it.
100%. And when we talk about the team, sometimes people hit up the painting channel and say, hey, why isn't your team doing this? The painting channel is one dude who I occasionally help by writing some stuff for him.
He's not a very clever man.
He's not a very clever man. And the podcast is literally the 4 of us, which includes one of us editing and one of us GMing, and we record at a place. There is no production studio behind this, so your reviews and your affiliate clicks are super important to us. Thank you very much for being here. We always appreciate seeing you. Next time, we are going to play a brand new RPG, and if Wegs behaves himself, we'll let him be included. His timeout will be over, and he'll be included in that one. We haven't decided what it is yet. We might chuck a vote on the Discord even.
Lucky it's audio only because 3 of us will be sporting a tan.
That's true. Thanks for being with us. As always, I have been Gordon.
I've been Mike.
And I have been Fitz.
This has been Cyberpunk. Thanks for being with us.
Fashion Badger.